Hello, everyone. I understand that there is a presentation about memes happening this time, so I appreciate that you chosen to be here. My name is Anastasia Shapedko, and I am the Inclusion Product Lead at Yandex. Today I want to tell you about our project for people with speech impairments. We've been working hard on making our smart assistants allies to make it understand them better. Firstly, I want to tell you more about our direction. Yandex has dozens of different services and products which help people in many ways, from transport to entertainment. And inclusivity is one of the company's values. It means that we've been making our products and services more accessible for people with disabilities, people who are blind, deaf, or use wheelchairs, and so on. We've been working in this direction for more than 3 years. I'm responsible for inclusion product stream. We have 3 focuses here: digital accessibility, new product features, and technologies for inclusion. In the first field, we make interfaces of our services more accessible for assistive technologies, primarily for screen readers, which are used by people who are blind or with low vision. Our main goal here is to test our services for accessibility and make sure that they are accessible for blind people. The second focus is new product features. We always discover how can we make our products and services more convenient for users with disabilities. We do research, collect the feedback from different channels, talk to users and experts, and so on. And sometimes a service should be customized for their needs. Just a few examples. Maybe you know our taxi service, YandexGo. And we launch special options there where people can mark their need. For example, if they use a wheelchair, or they can't communicate by voice, or they need help finding a car. We show this request to drivers and tell them how they can help. Or another example is our platform, cinema platform Kinopoisk, where we produce subtitles for deaf and hard-hearing people, and Tiflo comments or audio descriptions for people who are blind. And the third field is technologies for inclusion. Yandex has many cutting-edge technologies such as computer vision, speech-to-text, and speech-to-text, our neural network YandexGPT, and so on. And these technologies are being used in our products and services, and of course, they can be really helpful for people with disabilities. For example, we have a smart camera that can recognize objects and texts. And it's very useful for people who are blind, for example, when they are in a store trying to understand what's a product in their hands. Or we also have the app Yandex Conversation that makes communication between deaf people with people who can hear easier. It transcribes speech to text and synthesizes speech to text, text to speech. And of course, technologies have been used in our smart assistants allies that is available in the Yandex app, smart speakers, and other smart devices. Now a quick survey. Raise your hand if you use voice assistants like Alexa, Siri, maybe Yandex. Cool, lots of people. As for me, I use my smart speaker with Alice on everyday basis. It helps with everyday tasks like checking the time, weather, playing music, and so on. This product can be, Alice can be really helpful for your everyday life. But there are many people who can do certain things at home on their own. I'm talking about people with disabilities. Alice can be really useful for them. For example, if someone is in a wheelchair, they can ask Alice to send a message to another room or for a glass of water. Or if someone has limited hand mobility, they can ask Alice to call a taxi or turn on the lights. But there was a big group of people who had troubles using Alice, people with speech impairments. These are often linked to physical disabilities like cerebral palsy or strokes consequences. And smart assistants can be really useful for them, but often inaccessible. This group also includes people who stutter, have brain injuries, autism, tumors, and so on. It's hard to estimate the exact number of people affected, but there are at least 4.5 million people in Russia with speech impairments caused by stuttering, dementia, cerebral palsy, or strokes. And the actual number is probably much higher. Now I want to show you the results for our project in action. These are videos from a developer with cerebral palsy, so you can better understand what I'm talking about. It will be in Russian, but with English. Yeah, we need sound. Yeah? No. Sorry. Yeah? No. Can you please turn on the second video? Yeah, thank you.
От адреса ехать 25 минут. На комфорт плюс за 655 рублей картой. Машина приедет через 5 минут. Вызываю? Ищу машину. Когда найду, отправлю уведомление.
I won't go into the technical details of this project because how the model was trained. It's a regular process for LS team who is always improving the model's quality. I'm here as a product manager and I want to share the product side of this project. Our main task was to collect, verify, classify, and evaluate data for this specific purpose. And it required a big number of high-quality audio recordings with text transcriptions by people with speech impairments. So in 2023, we started the first phase. Our main goal was to develop a process that works properly, collect the first data quickly, and check if it helps to improve the model quality. The first thing we did was searching for an expert in this field who immersed us in the subject matter. The next step was understand how we can collect the specific data needed for this purpose. There wasn't a data set available in Russia, so we needed to collect our own. How did we find the right people? Yandex has its own charity fund, and we work with many approved non-profit organizations that support people with different disabilities. So we selected a few organizations who have beneficiaries with speech impairments, and we asked the fund staff to offer these individuals the opportunity to join the project. For recordings, we used our platform Yandex Tasks. People read a popular request to Alice that we provided. They just needed open a task on Yandex Tasks, read a phrase using built-in voice recorder, and then they got paid. After collecting sufficient data set, we use these recordings to check, to improve the model and evaluate the results. So on this stage, we engaged about 30 people and collected more than 600 recordings. When we trained our model on the part of these recordings, we saw a 14% improvement in word error rate. We use this metric as our main metric. In simple words, it's a proportion of misrecognized words. The second stage. For testing, participants were engaged directly by the fund staff, so we didn't need to check the relevance of their speech. We also used examples without preliminary classification. But this approach is not suitable for a long-term systematic process. Our main challenge was to get more participants, to collect a more diverse data set and achieve high-quality results. Additionally, we needed to classify all the data. We created a landing page to encourage participations and partnered with more organizations for recruitment. There is also a big number of existing performers who already solve tasks on Yandex tasks. So we decided to check if any of these people have speech impairments and conducted a survey to identify them. In total, we received about 1,700 requests to join. Each needed to be checked for relevance, type, and severity of each impairment, so we implemented a task as a part of a process. With the help of the expert, we created a test task where participants read tongue twisters. Due to the large number of requests, we were unable to check them all in person. So we used the model to filter out irrelevant requests, such as those with empty or quality recordings or recordings that already had a high recognition rate. Then approved requests were checked and classified by speech therapists. We had four main types of impairments: stuttering, pronunciation, syllable structure, and intonation. Speech therapists also marked a severity of each problem as light, medium, and severe. On this stage, we could identify people without speech impairments who were just trying to earn money. As I told, all participants got paid, and the rate was higher than usual, making it a valuable work opportunity for them. In the end, we engaged more than 300 people. The first and the second stage took about 400 days of work, and we collected 1 million audio recordings, amounting to 900 hours of data. Overall, we improved recognition accuracy by 20%, with the most significant increasement in severe pronunciation impairments. Not only did we compare the new model with the old one, but also evaluated its performance against humans. We asked assessors to listen to recordings and transcribe them into text. We saw that the model recognized speech with impairments in almost all categories on the same level as a human, or even better, especially for people with severe pronunciation impairments. Of course, we are at the beginning of a long journey, and our main goal to develop technologies that help people regardless of their health condition, making a more convenient and inclusive world for them. And in conclusion, I want to share some recommendations for team and product leads, how they can make their projects more inclusive. The first thing, ensure that your products are designed with accessibility in mind from the beginning. I recommend to get familiar with Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. It's a set of standards for accessibility, and it can be helpful not only regular products but for AI products as well, especially those with interfaces, to make sure that they are accessible for assistive technologies. The second thing, partner with experts, non-profit organizations that specialized in this field to get insights suitable for your product direction. You can also engage with community of people with disabilities. Sometimes we may think that we can imagine the life of a person who is blind or deaf, but it's always better to ask them directly. As a fourth, when you collect data for your model, make sure that it represents people with disabilities. For example, if to improve recognition of emotions and gestures, make sure that the model recognizes facial expressions and actions by people who have limited face mobility or with motor impairments. Fifth, regularly test your products with people who have disabilities to identify areas for improvement. Involving these individuals into your testing process, you can uncover specific areas and challenges they face. Six, coordinate with legal and privacy teams to ensure compliance with all standards and regulations. In these projects, we closely worked with these teams because voice recordings with impairments are sensitive personal information, so we needed to protect users' privacy. And the last, but very important, to foster a culture of inclusion within your company and educate your colleagues about importance of inclusion on all levels, from developers to stakeholders. Thank you for your attention. I'm happy to answer your questions now or later. My contacts are on the slide.
Okay. Thank you, Anastasia, for the presentation. I want to congratulate you
Thank
and
you.
give you a little appreciation. But yeah, we'll open the floor for questions if anyone has anything they want to ask. Feel free to think about it. Oh, we have another one over here. Just wait a second for the microphone.
Thank you for your presentation and also letting us know a little bit more about projects that we don't see every day. So my question would be, when you are having your projects, what is the typical length of them in your companies? Because like this seems, for me, a little bit more complicated to gather also the testing group and also even to test the model itself. So that's why I'm asking.
As I understand, you're asking how we test our products.
No, I'm asking like, what's the length? What is the time frame that you have for your project?
Okay, it depends, because this project, as I told, took about 1 year, more than 1 year, because of significant data set that we needed. But some projects we can launch really fast. In our company, the fast is something like half of a year. And we have regular processes here as testing services for accessibility, and it's a regular process, so it doesn't need additional resources here. Thank you for the question.
There's a question over here in the middle.
Maybe just a short question. How difficult is to find the data, collect the data? How, like, those people are engaged or want to give the data? This is like really sensitive, right?
Yeah, it's really sensitive, and sometimes it was hard because we didn't want to promote this project while we didn't have results. So it was we collaborated with funds, and the reach was lower than it was possible. But that's why we needed more than 1 year. And but we paid all participants, so they was involved with, I guess, more interest. Yes, we did it without paying.
First, I would like to thank you for amazing presentation and engaging topic. And my question would be for the end users in, let's say, production version of the product, how much are you using the user feedback in that stage, in the, let's say, post-production development?
Thank you for a question. typically, for all of our projects, we asked organizations, funds that we worked with to test our features or to test our products. And this project, we also asked some people who we know have speech impairments or the fun stuff to check it. And my colleagues saw improvement in person with their parents, with their teachers who, after strokes, for example, or with cerebral palsy or something like that. So I hope I answered your question. Thank you very much.
While we wait for a potential another question, I have a question of my own. I think this is a really beautiful project that you've undertaken, and it really is amazing when we see companies kind of think a little outside of the box and about marginalized groups. What I wanted to ask you is, since you are in the inclusivity kind of department of Yandex, are there any other potential projects that you can maybe tell us about, or that you've done in the past, or are you looking forward to doing? If you can tell us, amazing. If not, feel free to.
Yeah, of course. I gave some examples before my speech about this project. I can say that we have different features and different services as Yandex Go. We work with deaf and hard-hearing drivers and couriers who deliver food or something like that in our service as well. We have projects that educate community and society about importance of inclusion, and we want to make this theme more visible and make these people more visible. So I didn't put the Telegram channel that we have, but it's in Russian, so it doesn't matter. But you can just reach me out, and I can tell more if anyone
I guess
wants.
an additional question from my side would be, as far as I got from the presentation, this the Alice chatbot was basically, I think, trained on Russian data. Do you have any plans on rolling this out in other languages potentially?
Maybe Alice now is available in Russian and for a year in Kazakh language, and we are thinking about this to make something like this project in other countries, but it was very hard to find these people in Russia, and in other countries it will be a much more
difficult task to accomplish.
Yeah,
but that's what I was thinking about, potential future
Yeah,
projects.
but of course now we are discovering what we can make in other countries where Yandex has services. Yeah, special options, what I'm talking about before, are available in Serbia as well, and people in Belgrade can call a taxi, use these options, and the driver will be prepared for these trips. Yeah.
Okay, great. Are there any other questions in the audience? If not, I want to thank you again,
Thank you very
Anastasia,
much
for your
Thank you
presentation.
for your presentation.